Welcome back to UGC Net English Detailed Lectures. Our topic for the last lecture was the biography of the writer Afraban. In this lecture, we will cover one of the poems written by the famous modernist writers T.S. Eliot. The title of the poem is The Hollow Man. The Hollow Man, published by the writer T.S. Eliot. The poem The Hollow Man was published in 1925. T.S. Eliot, 1888 to 1965. The poem is divided into 5 parts, 5 short parts, and the poem has total 98 lines. Now the title, that is The Hollow Man, that is taken from the writings of 2 people, 2 writers. So Eliot wrote that he produced the title The Hollow Man by combining the titles of the romance book titled The Hollow Land, written by William Morris, and from another poem that is titled The Broken Man, a poem written by Rudyard Kipling. So remember, T.S. Eliot's title The Hollow Man is a combination of the pieces of titles taken from the works of William Morris, work The Hollow Land, and then the poem, Rudyard Kipling's poem, The Broken Man. Now the inspiration for the poem, The Hollow Man. Basically, we can say post-World War I Europe, the condition of the post-World War I Europe. Then we can see Kurtz in Joseph Conrad's work Heart of Darkness, the influence of Kurtz as a hollow man. Then also Eliot's failing marriage with his first wife, Vivian Haywood Eliot. So these were the inspiration to pen the poem The Hollow Man. So remember, post-World War I Europe really influenced Eliot a lot because the cultural degradation. Then his failed marriage with his first wife Vivian Haywood Eliot. But then we can see the character Kurtz, which is the character created by Joseph Conrad in his work Heart of Darkness. The poem has 2 epigraphs, 2 short lines as a beginning or as an introduction. So the 2 short pieces are the 2 epigraphs to the poem. One is titled Mr. Kurtz, He Dead. So that is the one epigraph. And the second one is A Penny for the Old Guy. So these are allusions to first one, that is Mr. Kurtz, He Dead is an allusion to Joseph Conrad's character, Mr. Kurtz, from his work Heart of Darkness. And the second one is, that is A Penny for the Old Guy. It is a reference to the man Guy Fawkes, who was a member of the Gunpowder Plot. So these are the epigraphs. One for Mr. Kurtz and the other for Mr. Guy Fawkes, who was a member of the Gunpowder Plot. Now let's see what was the Gunpowder Plot. We can see the reference to the Gunpowder Plot. That means the Gunpowder Plot was a failed attempt to assassinate King James I of England during the opening of Parliament in November 1605. So the Gunpowder Plot was a an assassination attempt at King James I. The plan was organized by Robert Catesby, a devout English Catholic who hoped to kill the Protestant King James and establish Catholic rule in England. So Robert Catesby and his friends, including the person named Guy Fawkes. Because the second reference, that is epigraph's reference, that is a penny for the old guy, means Guy Fawkes. So these people, that means Robert Catesby and Guy Fawkes, they were trying to kill King James I. To kill the Protestant king so that they could get a Catholic king. That was the plan, but it didn't work out. The person, Guy Fawkes was found out, and everyone was punished. T.S. Eliot invokes imagery from the Inferno, written by Dante. In the poem, we can also see T.S. Eliot using imagery related to Dante's work. Inferno. Inferno is a part of Dante's work, the Divine Comedy. So the Divine Comedy is divided into different sections, and one section is Inferno. Now let's see the themes of the work. As we said, post-World War I Europe, hopelessness, split between thought and action, religious conversion, redemption, breakdown of language, T.S. Eliot's failing marriage with his first wife, Vivian Haywood Eliot, etc. So these are the themes. Post-World War I Europe, hopelessness, split between thought and action, religious conversion, redemption, breakdown of language, T.S. Eliot's failing marriage with his first wife, Vivian Haywood Eliot, etc. Now let's see how the poem begins. We are the hollow men. We are the stuffed men leaning together, headpiece filled with straw. We are the hollow men. We are the stuffed men leaning together, headpiece filled with straw. And the poem ends with the lines, this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Now let's see some of the titles taken from T.S. Eliot's poem, The Hollow Men. We can say in Atiya Hussein's work, titled Sunlight on a Broken Column, that is borrowed from T.S. Eliot's poem, The Hollow Man. So remember, it is important. Atiya Hussein's work, Sunlight on a Broken Column, is borrowed from T.S. Eliot's poem, The Hollow Man. And another work, that is Neville Shore's work, novel titled On the Beach, also derives its title from the second stanza of part 4 of T.S. Eliot's poem, The Hollow Man. Neville Shore's novel On the Beach takes its name from the second stanza of part 4 of the poem The Hollow Man by T.S. Eliot. These are very, very important ideas. You should always keep this in memory. Now let's analyze the summary of the work. The poem begins with the speaker, who is really a group rather than an individual, and they describe how they live as the hollow men. So when the poem begins, we see a group of people. They describe their life, living their life as hollow men. We have seen how the poem begins. We are the hollow men. We are the stuffed men. So stuffed men, that means they don't really look like men. So they were leaning together, had feet filled with straw. So it means they appear like scarecrows. Like a scarecrows. They appear not like real men. So they are like a group of scarecrows. The men are exiting somewhere between life and death in a world they have no agency in. So these are helpless men. They appear like scarecrows. They are helpless. They have no control over their thought and they can't act their own. They have no potential to act. So they stay like a dead human beings, but they are not really completely dead. So this is the condition of the Europe after World War I. It becomes clear as the poem progresses that they are unable to enter into true death. So that is the problem. Europe has dead, but they not yet dead completely. So men live there, living and partly living. There is no money for them to cross the river, so they can't really pay for the boatman. So they wait there. Instead, they have to wait for something to change. So they have to wait. The poet describes a desolate world populated by empty, defeated people. Though the speaker describes these people as dead and the world they inhabit as the underworld, the poem shouldn't be read simply as a description of life after death. So the poem is not a description of people who are dead, and it is not the description of a dead man's land. Eliot describes a world that is in between life and death. It is also a reflection on the sorry state of European culture after the First World War. The speaker of the poem feels that the horrors of the war have plunged Europe into deep despair. European culture itself is fading away into nothingness. At the end of the poem, the men are described as dancing around a cactus and singing. So when the poem ends, we see them dancing around a cactus. Even in this context, they are unable to finish the song or their prayers to God. The poem ends with the speaker stating that the world is going to end anticlimactically. There will be no big explosion. Instead, it will go out with a whisper. So in a passive way, Eliot declares the death of the world, the dead state of men, the dead state of the culture, everything. That's all the poem, The Hollow Man, written by T.S. Eliot. And in the next class, we will discuss the biography of the African writer Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.